Friday, week 10. Right now, we take a Sweet 16 soccer break. Dunlap battling Rock Island tonight for a sectional title and a spot in the 2A Elite 8. The Eagles came all ready to play. In the first half, pretty quiet until Rohan Isaac from the defensive end sends it to Jackson Orris at about midfield. And Orris is going to do the rest. Makes a terrific run, blows by a couple defenders, and that's the 33rd goal of the season for Orris. That's a new Dunlap school record. More importantly, it puts Dunlap up 1-0. Dunlap would remain up 1-0 because Joe Heyer, a beautiful one-on-one save right here, tips that ball over the crossbar. It's 1-0 at halftime. But early second half, a very athletic Rock Island team with a spin, shot, goal. We're tied 1-1. Now watch carefully. Final seconds of the game. Dunlap is quickly going to reset the ball and play it. Jackson Orris is going to head the ball off the post at the buzzer. That could have been a buzzer-beating game winner. Instead, in double overtime, this is the game winner. Rock Island scores to stun Dunlap 2-1. Rocks.
Just all over the place. I don't really know what to think. I'm still proud of the boys for the way we played. It's unfortunate. It shouldn't have gone to overtime in the first place. I felt we didn't play our greatest, but we still put up a good fight, and Rock Island's a great team. I hope they have a good rest of their season, but it's really disappointing, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's always hard when you don't meet the goals that you set for yourself as a team, but gave it our all. We did everything we could. We had some unfortunate situations, injuries, things like that, but the guys out there did everything they could to do what we could to win.
Congratulations to Dunlap on a Middle Illini and regional championship season. We will have one Central Illinois Elite 8 team in 2A because we have an all Central Illinois matchup tomorrow. Normal West and Washington battling for a sectional title. Both schools have great soccer traditions, but neither the Wildcats nor Panthers have ever won a sectional title. One of them will make school history tomorrow, and more important, one of them will keep their state title dreams alive, advancing to the Elite 8. Should be a great game, the Panthers and Wildcats.
I've been here 5 years. We've been in three. This will be our third sectional final and one sectional semifinal. We're trying to get over that hump. I know as a few other teams in this sectional are as well. So they're not easy. None of these games are easy, but they do know what it's at stake.
Washington obviously is a really good team. They're well coached. They have good players, but we are too. We're balanced. These guys are raring to go. They want to give their school their first sectional championship, and so the leadership of the team, they're going to be up and ready to play.
An 11 a.m. kickoff tomorrow. I'll be there for full highlights tomorrow on 25 News. In Class 3A, Normal Community has won one-goal thrillers over both Peoria, Notre Dame, and Minooka to advance to tomorrow night's sectional championship match with Collinsville. The Ironmen are confident they will again find a way to get a win in the postseason.
Actually, I feel like we've grown into a group that can handle the challenges, be resilient, deal with crowd noise, deal with any sort of challenges that are out there, and come together and make things happen.
Good luck to the Ironmen tomorrow. That's a 6:30 kickoff at Peoria, Notre Dame. Well, we've had Dunlap football, we've had Dunlap soccer, Dunlap tennis. Anyone? Today, the best girls tennis team in Dunlap school history is honored. Dunlap finished in second place in state last week, led by second place state singles player Anna Yu.
I think it was just a great experience for all of us. I'm really happy that we were able to come away with a second place trophy, but I think overall the experience was just so great going with a team and coaches that are just amazing.
They did a phenomenal job. It's a 3-day tournament and just kept their focus and really just kept that drive, and it allowed us to get to our highest finish ever for the girls, and just truly an amazing season.
Congratulations to the Eagles. We'll hear more from them tonight on Overtime as well. All right, back to